Even if you have never picked up a palette knife in your life before, this is a design you can try and execute. We are going to learn how to paint beautiful florals on a black cake. This technique incorporates just one palette knife and it doesn't require a lot of tools or expensive material. It just requires some stable buttercream, a small palette knife, and the techniques that I'm going to teach you. I am Neeta from Buttercream Petals Cake Art School. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how we can paint the petals. First, we need to prepare a palette, and this is just some buttercream with light blue color on top and a darker tone of blue at the bottom. I've roughly smoothed it on a palette. This is the exact same palette that you would use for painting acrylic paints or oil paints. You can get it from an art store. We are also going to use a small palette knife with a sharp end like this one. So I will show you how we can pick up the petals first. So once you have smoothed your buttercream like this, we can simply pick up some buttercream like this, and then you can see that all I'm going to do is put it back on the palette, pick it up again, put it back on the palette, pick it up again, put it back. So this is known as the smoothing of the petal. So once you smooth it a few times, we get a nice smooth buttercream at the back of the palette knife. This is what we are going to use to paint on the cake. As we have two tones of blue here, we will get a natural realistic look to our petals because of this color toning as well. So we're going to apply this onto the cake now. We are now going to apply this smooth buttercream onto our cake. So all I'm going to do is apply it onto the cake quite flat. With even pressure, smooth it or apply it into the cake and then drag it out slowly, ever so lightly. Let's take our second petal. Apply it flat onto the cake. Gently pull it down to the center of the cake. Let's keep this going. You can see that I am painting outwards now. That is also okay. Let's paint one petal here. Again, I'm painting outwards, not inwards, because because it's a small cake and the height of the cake is really short. This is going to be quite tricky, so I am painting it the other way. So all you have to do is turn your palette knife, so you paint it the other way. Now let's add our second layer of petals. So in between these two petals, we are going to add a second layer of petals. Now we are going to add tiny little dots in the middle of the flower. So with some uncolored buttercream and a piping bag with a hole cut at the end, we are just going to pipe tiny little dots. Now with some light green buttercream, let's paint some leaves. So the exact same petal painting technique. We are going to apply these petals in the back of the flower, so it's really getting in the middle, and lightly smoothing it out. As you can see, this looks almost translucent in the way that it's merging with the black background. Now we can add some yellow petals as well, or leaves more like. So let's take the yellow in and add this to our green. This just adds a pop of color, so it's not just all green leaves, it just adds a little bit more definition as well as color to our design. Let's paint one more flower here. Most of the times when you think about palette knife painting, you think that it's really technical, it's really hard to do. but trust me, with practice and techniques, you can absolutely master this technique. You don't have to be an artist, you don't need to know how to paint or how to freehand use your palette knife. You can be doing this for the very first time, but it's still very doable for you. We have students in the online school who have mastered palette knife painting in as little as couple of weeks. So, and they are not artists, they have never picked up a palette knife in their life, but they have managed to learn this technique quite effortlessly. And the trick here is to have stable buttercream that you can work with easily. We are using our signature buttercream here. Adding this color to the background is really important. It just gives such a nice flair to our cake. Just to add some more color, let's prepare some dark blue and we can add it in between the petals just to bring in a pop of color. We're just adding this blue color in between so that it's just a splash of blue color that is going to really bring our design out a little bit more. Now let's add a bit of piped detailing. I'm just adding a little string of buttercream, connecting the designs. And let's add some leaves to add in a little bit of our piped elements as well. I'm using a Wilton 352 nozzle with some light green buttercream. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and hope you will try this technique as well. I would love to see your buttercream creations. Do tag me at Buttercream Petals both in Instagram as well as in Facebook. If you'd like free sample tutorials from our online school, do sign up in our website www.buttercreampetals.com. I'll see you next week with a new tutorial. Until then, take care and bye-bye.